my friends, it's voiceover Sonia here. As you already saw in the title, we're going to be recapping this year together, more specifically from my perspective. I guess I'll just be asking myself some questions and then answering them myself. You can maybe also try to answer some of these questions too to reflect on your year. In today's video, you will not be seeing my face at all. You guys will watch me struggle to put this puzzle together, and we're just gonna chill. I also plan on framing this puzzle and hanging it on our empty living room wall, by the way, so maybe I'll show the finished product on my Instagram later. With all that being said, let's jump into our questions for today. Question number 1. Why did you start this YouTube channel? Okay, I know this question isn't super related to 2020, but starting this channel is definitely one of my biggest achievements this year, and I think I should address this question that came up for myself first. I feel like my answer to this question has been constantly changing over the past few months, but for now I'd say one main reason is to share my experience of studying abroad with my friends in Taiwan. I was fortunate enough to have the opportunity to study in a foreign country, and I know for a fact that a lot of people would love to come out here if they were given the chance. Now, I'm not saying this to idolize the idea of studying in Western countries. I've just realized how lucky I am to be able to experience a completely different culture, which is why I would love to share with those who are unable to leave the country themselves what they could possibly experience while studying abroad. I've also just always wanted to record some videos on learning English, so maybe you'll see these videos in the future. Right now everything is still in the planning due to my personal schedule and some research I have to do first, but definitely keep an eye out for those if you're interested. They take a lot more brain power to make, which I guess is why I'm making these random videos to procrastinate on them. Another reason I started this channel was also just to document my life over the next few years. I feel like the older I become, the more I realize how much and how quickly things can change within a few months or even weeks. As someone who's been constantly wrestling about her future major/career, I thought it would be pretty cool to document how my thought process changes over time. Also, just to look back on these someday to see how much I've grown over time. At least, that's what I'm hoping for. Alright, question number 2. What have you lost in 2020? Let's go in a chronological order, shall we? Starting with the beginning of 2020. Well, I was a second semester high school senior, pretty much done with college apps, and I was just preparing for my AP exams. I was also able to put some more attention on the Science Olympiad team, which I decided to join at the beginning of my senior year. I just participated in 2 competitions and was getting ready for regionals when we got the news that all competitions were cancelled due to COVID. I'd say this really made me regret not joining the team earlier because I was doing pretty well in an event called Codebusters. We had a really great team for this event and I was looking forward to winning some more competitions. But then, everything got cancelled. Me and my teammates all agreed that it would have been a pretty great season. So yeah, I probably lost a few medals here. Obviously later on, my senior year of high school was pretty much in shambles. Not being able to go to school anymore and see my friends in person, not getting a proper graduation ceremony, not being able to let my table tennis club practice some more. Basically anything that could have happened in the normal school year. To expand a bit more on my graduation ceremony, my high school actually did hold an in-person one where students go up one by one, take a picture real quick, then come back down and put their masks back on again. It was held over 2 or 3 days. I don't remember exactly how many, but anyways, I was unable to attend the ceremony because my grandma passed away around the end of May, so my family had to make an emergency trip back to Taiwan. I won't say that I was lucky to go home because as much as I love Taiwan, I absolutely hated the fact that I was going back because of a close relative passing away. If you watch my Taiwan vlogs, you probably know that Taiwan is possibly the safest place on earth you can be right now, but attending a funeral will never be a reason I look forward to going home. I am happy for her though, since she doesn't have to suffer from any more pain and I won't have to constantly worry about her health while I'm overseas. Okay, as for my summer, I spent quite some time in Taiwan, so it was pretty heckin' great since I was free to go anywhere I wanted after 2 weeks of quarantine. My brother and I flew back to America around mid-July to help my dad move to our new house, and for the next 2 months, I just worked on the first 5 videos I uploaded onto my channel. College officially began on October 1st. Obviously, I didn't get to go on campus because COVID cases were still rising consistently. Fun fact, they still are right now. Which is why my first day of college vlog was filmed at home, and also why I still won't be going on campus next quarter. Here's another fun fact for y'all. I've never stepped foot on the UCSD campus before, not even for college tours, so yeah, I have yet to experience what it feels like being on campus. Not gonna lie, I was dealing pretty well with quarantine most of this year. Even doing online college and stuff didn't really bother me that much. But as I approached the last 2 or 3 weeks of the quarter though, the FOMO started catching up, and I honestly felt like I was just paying an insane amount of money for online courses. Half of my classes were async, and it's really hard to make friends in class since everyone pretty much just leaves right after the class ends. Also, I guess public schools just have a lot of students in each class, so it's pretty difficult to meet people like that, and being online doesn't really help either. This is probably why I couldn't feel as involved with school as I wanted to, and actually feeling the loneliness creeping in. I don't know if this is a result of 2020, but I lost a week of winter break. Basically, we usually have 3 weeks of winter break, but this year I think we started school a week late, which is why my winter break ends this weekend rather than the next. Well, I can't do much at home anyways, so might as well start school early, right? Now that we went through the main things I lost this year, let's talk about question number 3. What have you gained in 2020? I think my answers to this question will mostly be the other side of what I talked about in my previous question. When quarantine began earlier in the year, I was actually pretty grateful for it. Because of quarantine, my dad could just work from home and we could spend a lot more time together than we usually do. Also, since we didn't have to commute to school every day, I could catch up on my sleep more and wake up slightly later for class. Half of my classes were APs anyways, so around March we were starting some reviews and I could just study for those at home. Because of all the extra time I got to spend alone, I could focus a lot more on self-care and realizing how much of a break I needed for my mental health. Junior year was a really stressful year for me, but I don't think I ever spent time refreshing my mind or doing some self-reflections, which is why even though I really enjoy human interactions, this break was well needed for me. Not now though, I think I'm kind of tired of it now, but for this year overall, I've really enjoyed spending time alone. Surprisingly, I had a lot of spiritual growth this year, even though I was not able to attend church in person. I got to get back on track doing devos again, and even just being more at peace with what God puts into my life. That's probably why I dealt so well with quarantine this year, so it's a pretty pleasant surprise for myself. I also got to watch my first ever K-drama, Crash Landing on You. Absolutely loved it. 20 out of 10. Even the side characters were so lovable. The next thing is not a direct result of 2020, but hey, I got into a college, even though I got rejected by my safety. High school ended, I went back to Taiwan, and after my grandma's funeral, I got to visit some relatives that I haven't seen in a year, and also go back to my middle school to visit old teachers. I also took a few vocal lessons in Taipei, and dang, I actually sounded good for once when I sang. I find practicing at home to be a bit awkward though, so I haven't really sang that out loud in a while. Hopefully my teacher isn't watching this because she would be so disappointed in me. Okay, let's move on. Time in Taiwan flew by so quickly, and I was back in America after about a month of pure freedom. After moving into our new home, I realized that my new room received a lot more sunshine than my old one because of this huge east-facing window, so I decided to get plants. What better way to use all the sunshine than for plants to photosynthesize? I am now officially a plant mom of 17 plants, one of which is still in the propagation stage. This also leads to a new problem, which is how the heck will I bring all these plants to my dorm? However, if we look at this situation realistically, I won't be going on campus anytime soon anyways, so we can actually leave this problem for later. I did swear off of getting more new plants though, just because there doesn't seem to be enough room for my new babies anymore. but hey, if anyone offers a free plant, I might take it. Alright, enough about my new plant obsession. Something else I started after moving was this YouTube channel. Woo! The free time I got during quarantine definitely pushed me to start putting my vlogs together and uploading them, starting with my college admission video, which I uploaded at the beginning of August. I'm definitely not the most tech-savvy person you'll ever meet in your life, so I'm glad I picked up the skill of editing videos just because this seemed like a skill that has been very much needed in my life, but I always had to ask other people for help. I feel pretty awesome now that I acquired this new personal skill, and I hope you feel proud of me too. So summer ended, school began. I was actually pretty excited since I had a few Christian fellowships in mind that I wanted to check out, and also because I could meet new people in class. Or so I thought. As you heard from the last question, making friends in class was not very successful. Fellowships on the other hand though, that's probably my main pathway of making new friends so far. AACF was the first fellowship that I checked out, and honestly the vibe was just great and I decided to stay for good. There's a large group meeting every Monday night and then a freshman small group on Tuesday nights. I also started going to weekly prayer meetings after week 5-ish. I just really looked forward to meetings every week because that was really one of my rare chances of interacting with people out of the 168 hours each week. It's been so great meeting upperclassmen and other freshmen. Knowing that there are people I can look for when I'm finally on campus and need help is really assuring too. It's also amazing how close I've become with these people I've never seen in person before, so I'm super grateful for this community built through Christ. Last but not least, I've been able to take time to think about potential majors/careers for the future. Even though I'm only a college freshman, I still don't want to waste this precious time that I have to think about what I could do in 4 years. I'm so sorry, I think my mom just sneezed if you heard that. This has been a constant thought on my mind over the past few years, and honestly, my options just keep changing so much that I got too tired to even think about it. I guess this is also why I'm glad that I got into UCSD as an undeclared major, because it gave me the opportunity to think about potential majors a lot more flexibly. I also always knew that I preferred a job that has more hands-on stuff, if that makes sense, rather than just sitting at my desk all day. And it would be great to interact with people, which is why I'm currently considering doing PT. I still have some research to do on this, but what I do know is that as long as I can get into PT school, my major won't matter that much, so that takes a lot of pressure off of me. There's also a chance of me coming back in a month telling you guys that I'm no longer interested in doing PT, but that seems pretty unlikely for now, since for once this is a direction that I feel pretty comfy about. On that note, we have arrived at the end of the year again, which leads me to ask my last question. What would you rate 2020 out of a full score of 10? I'm gonna be really straightforward with you guys. 2020 sucked. That's no doubt at all. However, if you look back on my responses to the past 2 questions, you will realize that I gained a lot more than I had lost this year. All this time I stayed at home provided me an opportunity to be with my family for an extended amount of time, and also just the time for self-care and self-reflections. Although I was not able to interact with people as much as I had hoped, I was still blessed with an amazing group of new friends, and I got to learn about myself on an even deeper level. Because of all these new achievements, I decided to rate 2020 a 5.5 out of 10, because it still sucked, but it wasn't as bad as I would have expected it to be. I hope no one gets offended by this just because I rated 2020 a lot higher than they would have done, but this was just how my year went, and I'm sorry if it went a lot worse for you. I can't confidently say that 2021 will be a much better year, since we never know what could happen in the future. But I do hope our experiences this year made you a stronger person, so that even if sucky things happen in 2021, you won't be defeated that easily. I think that will be it for today, since the puzzle is now finished. Thanks for watching to the end, and I hope you had fun even just listening to me talk, and maybe did some reflections on your own too. Special announcement! If this video reaches 50 likes, I'll do the chubby bunny challenge with my brother. A few of my friends really wanted me to do it, so here's the deal. My Secret Santa even sent me a pack of marshmallows, so I guess there's no escaping this. Okay, Happy New Year guys, and I'll see you next time. Bye!